The wicked stepmother wanted to seize power while the old master was on his deathbed, but the daughter-in-law had no patience for her nonsense. She flicked a button with a snap, and the next second the button shot straight into the woman's throat. The stepmother, who had been spewing insults a moment ago, shut her mouth instantly. The woman warned her to watch her mouth and cherish the fact she could still stand and talk. It turned out the woman was not as sweet and gentle as she looked. Her true identity was the legendary queen of the underworld. She single-handedly united all underground gangs, and at a young age became someone the entire scene feared. Anyone who showed her disrespect never lived to see the sun the next day, until one day, her flash marriage husband's grandfather was hospitalized with a serious illness. Before passing out, he handed all of the Shi family business to his grandson to manage, but this caused dissatisfaction among the rest of the family, who wanted to fight for the inheritance. To help her husband hold the collapsing Shi family together, the woman came back from overseas to the capital. Her husband, known as a notorious rich playboy, brought along his 3 equally ridiculous friends and spent a fortune hiring extras to stage a dramatic welcome for her. He thought she would be moved to tears, but she was not having it. The moment they met, she flipped him over her shoulder, saying 3 months apart and his brain was leaking again. In 30 seconds, she cleaned up the chaos they created. The man looked completely wronged, but he knew he could not beat her, so he had no choice but to endure it. He hurried to tell everyone to remove the ridiculous decorations. Just then the woman's phone rang. The hospital reported the old master's condition had worsened and asked the family to come immediately. When they arrived, they saw the old man faint again. The butler handed the man a will, saying the old master had arranged everything while still conscious. If he never woke up again, the man would inherit the company. But right then, the man's stepmother burst in objecting, claiming her husband was still in his prime, and a young brat had no right to become company president. The woman had no time for her nonsense. She lifted her hand and sent another button shooting into the woman's mouth. The stepmother was instantly enraged, trying to use her seniority to pressure the woman. The man quickly took out the will and showed it to her, saying it had been notarized and her name was nowhere on it, and if she was too senile to read, she could go next door and get her head examined. The second uncle was furious and was about to teach the man a lesson, but the woman had no intention of letting that happen. She threw a fruit knife, piercing through the edge of his jacket. She had held back. If not for the fact they were relatives, that knife would not have stopped at a warning. The second uncle was scared stiff, pulled out the knife, threw out a threat, and fled in embarrassment. That night back home, the man showered the woman with flattery, thanking her for standing up for him, saying he would have suffered a big loss without her. But the woman suddenly changed the topic, saying if he really wanted to thank her, then he should work hard tonight. Hearing that, the man could not help but feel thrilled, thinking she finally understood and was ready to give herself to him. He assured her he had been working out every day for the past 3 months, and tonight she could do whatever she wanted. The woman told him they might not get any sleep tonight. The man perked up instantly and excitedly went to shower. After the shower, he sprayed an entire bottle of cologne on himself, then walked into the living room full of anticipation and terrible perfume, fantasizing about his performance for the night. But the next second he felt a chill behind him. He turned around and realized the house was suddenly filled with people. They were all experts the woman had hired from different fields to train him as fast as possible so he could take over his company's